All right. Circle Up Podcast here with some good news. It's actually time for some good news. The Tigers just got a potentially season changing win for a lot of reasons. We'll get into the minutia, the small things we liked, but overall, like legitimately a in my opinion, a season potentially flipping win, a I'm trying to think like narrative flipping win.
Changes the course of the season a little bit.
Yes. And I think the biggest reason why, like, this wasn't like Mizzou's been playing really bad, which they have been, and then all of a sudden turn around. It is two key guys came off of injury. Team played way better. And those guys aren't even like in full game shape yet. So that's huge. So first and second, huge shout out to Mike. Here, actually, I don't know if you want to bring that up, you can.
I think I know where you're going with it.
And then, yes, we aren't going 0-19 in conference play. Gates is not going to be fired anymore. I have a lot of crow to eat, though I hold the fact that a lot of the things I said made sense in the moment. And also, I listened to the podcast you guys did without me. And Curtis, man, you were drowning.
It was
How
dude, it
so?
was-
Just like in general, and that I had. There's a reason we haven't posted that on audio platforms.
it was just two boys just riffing.
Yeah,
That's all it
no.
was.
Once we got past any sort of like potential Breaking Bad references or something, like it was
At one point, Curtis,
floundering, I think would have
Curtis,
been the
you
word
made a
I
point
wanted.
of saying like Julian's gonna hate me for this, and then you did a bit where I did not understand at all, and I went,
Yeah.
I do hate him for this. I do hate that he did this.
It was
But
Norm
anyway,
Macdonald.
so how do you guys feel about? It's always great when other people do Norm Macdonald jokes. They always go over really well.
That's what they say.
How do you guys feel about this one? Just big picture. What's your initial reactions, and then we can dive into the nitty gritty based on what you guys say.
I think this is you said you listened to the episode, so thank you, by the way. I think this is like about as positive as we got during that episode. Was me maybe a couple of times saying like, hey, you start off conference play well with a win, like maybe we start to get healthy, you put something together. I didn't predict that happening, but I think we touched on like, hey, this could be kind of a, like wipe the slate clean type of game. Like, and here we are. Neither of us predicted that it would actually happen, but it did. And you're 1-0 in conference play with a ranked win now. And 1-0 in 2026. Wipe the slate clean.
Beating
You
a
got it
ranked
all
team.
to play for, baby.
Something about this Florida team turns the Tigers into monsters. It's like a man. What was his name? What was that one player in the bad Kim Anderson teams that always played really well against Illinois, or bad Conzo teams who always played really well against Illinois? You know what I'm talking about?
I don't know. The whole roster was probably bad.
He ended up transferring to SLU, I'm pretty sure, after Conzo
Who?
left. He played. Oh, he
guy
always
from
played
the Conzo
super well
team?
against Illinois. 1 second, I'm gonna figure it out. But anyway, keep going.
Mike?
Oh
Leave it
yeah.
to you. It looks like you've got a ponytail right now. I just got to say, for those of us watching, yeah, I know you don't. I'm just
No,
saying,
if
like
you-
from this angle.
This just goes for anybody. If you ever catch me wearing a ponytail, I want you to find the hardest brick you can find and hit me in the head with it.
Javon Pickett.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
no,
Yeah.
I think Curtis and I, as we were just, I mean, literally, we were just dying on that last show. I mean, we were drowning, struggling, but we just said, fuck it, we got to get one out.
Yeah, we were being waterboarded. That's how it felt.
Yeah. Right. We got that Maduro treatment that is probably going on right now.
Oh, whoa,
But,
hey.
hey.
But we won the game tonight. All right.
But yeah,
Sorry I couldn't be there, but my dad started watching Mizzou basketball and had a heart attack, so had to be there to see him off. He's not dead. Sorry, not see him off in that way. See him off like he came back.
Yeah.
He came back from the hospital and we were.
hopefully he's doing well.
Yeah.
He is. He's doing great.
Great. That's awesome. Yeah, I think I rightfully so was very pessimistic going into this game. Much like probably all Mizzou fans were like, hell, Florida's going to come in here and take us out back. But obviously that didn't happen. All positive game comments. I have no issues with the last 5 guys on the court were very telling. Is kind of what we alluded to pre coming on here. Stone was just a pure lightning jolt, pretty much what we needed. Having said that, I will slightly turn heel.
One person has to every pod.
That this does. I gotta think how to articulately put this. It's a great win for the program. Great win for Mizzou. I don't like that it's going to validate Gates.
He coached a good game.
He did. I have no complaints.
It was a really well coached game.
I love Florida does not have a deep bench. We obviously drove. We pulled out 11, 12 guys got minutes, but we still
Florida
know.
looked tired by the end of that game.
Oh, but again, like this goes back. Like again, I watched the whole game. My first son was born 2 days ago. He sat with me on the first half. It was I was brought to tears almost as I get to enjoy Mizzou basketball with the son. I also enjoy it with my daughter. Shout out her.
She doesn't like it the same.
She just likes betting mid majors. So it is what it is. But no, I literally have no complaints for it. This is just going to be the roller coaster that Mizzou goes on. Like people are ready to get rid of him. This program sucks. The team sucks. And then we get this win and like everything gets forgotten, which that's like the short-term memory of all fans, rightfully so. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I still think like moving forward, like there's still like there was multiple opportunities that could have gave this, us resulting in a loss. You can wave your hand all you want. I guess it's still hot down in Florida. I get you got to get airflow, but yeah, I'm not going to bitch about the game. It was a great game. Happy they got the win. That was much needed, but I don't think it changes like the trajectory of this season.
You're previewing like if the Steelers manage to like beat the Ravens tomorrow night, it's going to be the Tomlin conversation that they have every year. But at the end of the day, like, would you rather watch a guy who goes like, is pretty good, gets you the playoffs, or would you rather be the Carolina Panthers? You know what I mean? Like I say that.
No, I
keep pounding.
I'm aware of that. Yeah, hashtag keep pounding.
No, I agree.
It is what it is. It's hard to find good work these days, right? And Dennis is a good worker. Might not be the best worker.
I agree. It's the I don't know. I just can't help but think that like I will inevitably look on Reddit and social media and stuff, and everyone will just forget everything that has ever happened. But I will say the biggest caveat is 2 guys returning that the Tigers clearly needed. So I will say, like, is it fair to like we look at that as one parcel of the season, and then now we evaluate the rest of the season with a healthy lineup.
So Mike, you've taken us in a couple directions. First, I do want to say, at the beginning of this basketball season, when I turned on basketball, Margot, my daughter, would say, "Oh no, basketball," because when I'm watching basketball, I'm pretty locked in. But now today we had a big breakthrough with her. She saw Truman, and she fell in love with Truman. Truman did a step back jumper for some reason as a joke, and Margot loved it, and now she's a big Truman the Tiger fan. But anyway, so first
Julian,
on Gates,
I was gonna ask you at some point. I'd like to start like if we're doing instant reactions, a better to like try to keep us from getting too insane, where like we all give main takeaway.
Well, I'm getting
one big thing.
We opened with that.
No, we were all just stoked.
Look,
we were rambling.
Let's take what I think Mike's giving us some good splits here. So first, Gates. We were rightly critical of him, yet this game plan was amazing. The second half defense was one of the best defense I've seen the Tigers play. They rebounded against Florida very well. They defended very well. While they fought for some loose balls, some just like seemed to magically appear in Florida's hands, but it wasn't from the lack of trying from the Tigers. I think the offensive plan was really strong. What I love seeing, God, Jacob Cruz, like they knew on film, these Florida guards are weak. These Florida guards are little men. and they sent Jacob Cruz in there, and he got like 3 fouls off lobs, and Ant was eating them alive too. So it was just really good to see them be able to play this. And the reason they could do this is because they actually had shooters on the floor. Like, they could have Cruz, Pierce, Trent on the floor at the same time. Like, how freaking amazing is that? Like, so the offensive plan was really strong. The defensive plan was really good. And I mean, he even called 2 perfect replays. I thought he got in the ref's ear really well. I thought he pushed the right buttons on the guys. And he also made the smart coaching mistakes not mistakes, but choices of, let's see here. 1, didn't play Boat. And we did not miss him.
We did not
and I
miss
think that's
him.
an indictment of how badly that they were missing Stone and Pierce, that they tried to get Boat going and it didn't work. And now that they're back, he's like, on touch this. 2, the announcers kept saying the Tigers are back fully healthy, completely ignoring Porter injured on the sideline. And I didn't really miss him.
They've got
either.
everyone they need tonight.
They did not miss him either. And yes, abusing Florida's small lineup, getting their big man in foul trouble. I mean, Florida's going to get theirs, but like playing the analytic game correctly too. Like, if you think about it, the game plan was kind of similar against Illinois, where they're like, their weakest part is their 3-point shooting. We have to trust they're going to miss it. Illinois made them. This game, they're like, Florida's not a good 3-point shooter, and it paid off. It didn't pay off at the beginning of the first half, but boy, like, they opened that second half missing 5 3-pointers, and you could tell the Florida players did not want to take them anymore because like they looked bad.
They run this like
said at halftime that they were going to keep shooting them.
Yeah, well, they run this like it's the same. Like, they get the ball to the middle to their big, and they look to get someone open on the wing, some type of backdoor cut, and that they got theirs like religiously.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, but again, like, props to Gates. Like, I'll let them shoot all day long. Like, they're one of the worst 3-point shooting teams in the nation. They're not going to be ranked now. They're, they got some holes. Yeah.
But you gotta give him his flowers. Like, really well done by the coaching
No,
staff.
I like I
Gates
said,
in
like, I'm
particular.
not. I should have like, I'm not poo-pooing on Gates.
So Curtis posts in the chat, Florida had a bad shooting day overall. How much of it was us versus a little luck?
They just can't shoot though. They're literally like, they're like 330 out of 364.
If you want to see an analytic breakdown of this idea of allowing opponents to shoot threes, go to Rock M, where Matt Harris just posted this whole breakdown of the concept, the philosophy around allowing 3-pointers, where it's like, look, if you actually look at the data, guarding a 3-point shooter doesn't actually statistically change the likelihood of them making a 3-pointer that much. It looks better. It looks better to have a hand in their face, and
optics.
mentally it might do something, but like statistically it does not. Like, it has very little effect. What does matter is being there in the paint if someone's driving or by the post, or like, so what their philosophy is, you can alter someone's shooting by packing the paint, not so much on the 3-point line. So we're going to take the risk of them letting them shoot. That's not to say we don't guard them at all, but it's like, you're going to focus more on your rotations inside the paint. And I'm sure against teams that are much better 3-point shooters, they'll change the philosophy a little bit. But like, overall, it's let's get steals. And there are times, man, that second half where Florida just looked like they didn't know where to go. Like, they did not know where to go with the ball. The
their guards don't want
to.
Their guards don't want to shoot.
Yeah.
It's like
the best way to boil it down. Yeah.
No, it's like watching Northweather catch the ball at the perimeter. Like, dude doesn't even look at the rim. He's just looking.
If Northweather had hit that 3, that would have been us 10 like at the beginning.
We ended up by 10 anyway later.
But I mean, like,
I
that
think
was
it would
a
have put
powder
us
keg
on
moment.
But
it might have put us on 9. Yeah.
On that note, with like the guarding the 3, it's like, I think it benefits teams that want to push the ball, because when you get a long rebound, like Mizzou, when I'll have to go back and rewatch it if I have time. When you get a long rebound and you have a team that wants to push the ball and does not settle for letting the defense get set, it benefits you drastically, because now you're playing 4-on-2, 4-on-3, 3-on-2 basketball, and not letting the defense get set. So I know that's why I'm a big fan of calling a timeout after you score a basket, not calling a timeout in reverse. Like, you want to call it when when you're on defense, so you can get set. That's the hardest way to play basketball is against a set defense. I don't care if it's a dog shit defense. Still having 5 guys on that side of the floor inside the 3 line still tough. And
in the NBA, it's a little different, but college, I agree.
I mean, case by case, I suppose. But yeah, I mean, it's not. I mean,
Yeah,
I don't view their 3-point shooting. I mean, I guess a little. I don't really believe in a luck factor, quote unquote. But the only way the Tigers
jump shots. I mean, inside they missed a ton of shots. Like how much? I
think over time.
I don't think we were affecting shots that much, were we?
yeah, we were.
We had bodies in the paint.
I mean,
yeah,
you can't just say, "Oh, well, they missed," but like we got lucky. It's like they missed the shot.
They still miss. They get rebounds, or we get an offensive rebound. I think it helps that you still have Phillips. You have guys that are big now that are taking up space. That are at least you have a hand in their face in some capacity. And yeah, again, I can't emphasize. Yeah, they Mizzou played a great game. Like that's exactly how.
Let me throw up the box score for those of us.
Yeah,
that's for our YouTube viewers here.
That's exactly how you beat Florida.
Like, so someone in the chat just mentioned rebounding. Like, how we're the worst rebounding team, dude. We rebounded with Florida. Total rebounds, we tied them 37-37. They only got 2 more offensive rebounds than us.
That narrative of us being has flipped because of our height, and we're a decent rebounding team. We don't give up a lot of offensive rebounds like we used to.
I think with also with this up, I think let's delve into the minutes here and how we think this is going to affect the rest of the season. So, Stone opening with like the first 8 points. What a great feeling. Stone played 28 minutes. Phillips, 19 minutes. Pierce, 19 minutes. Robinson, 35. Mitchell, 35. So Robinson, Mitchell, both did a good job not getting into foul trouble. Both were out there a lot. Amazing. Pierce, I would really like to see that number get up. I'm sure it will as his health continues. Stone, 28. I'm actually surprised by that. But Stone and Pierce being back allowed people whose role needs to be smaller to be small. Barrett, 8 minutes. And those were good 8 minutes. Played good defense. He got some passes in. He had a good drive. He didn't have to overdo stuff. Burns, 6 minutes. And guys, Burns played a good 6 minutes. He needs to work on not goaltending, but we were texting how if I was that tall, I'd goaltend my ass off. I would be goaltending.
It's gotta be so tempting. Like all day, people are just throwing up shots that you can swat away. Are you joking?
But like a 6 solid minutes, which is like if he can keep doing 6 to 10 minutes a game, that's huge for his growth into next season. Mac only had to do 6 minutes. Mac, he needs that graphic from the NBA. 0 points, 0 shots, 0 threes, 0 free throws, 1 foul, 1 turnover.
Who was that stat about? I can never remember. This is like
Tony
Snell
Snell
or something.
Tony Snell.
Ian Snell.
But Mac,
whatever. That's a picture.
It's just so clear Yeah. Randall, 6 minutes. And here's the thing. Randall didn't really have any stats, but he played well. Like when it was like Randall, at one point they had Randall, Bear, and a few other guys in, and I was like, this is an important 6 minutes. And they pushed the lead by like 4 more points. Northweather only 7, which is exactly what we want to see. And then Cruz 29 points. And so this feels like a much better rotation, especially once Porter gets back in. It's going to be like we have our main guys, and then whichever of the extra 3 to 4 guys who are having a good night. And Cruz had 13 points off 3 shots. Only 1 3-pointer. That's all free throws because he kept using his height as an advantage.
And he's the only one that was making free throws, by the way. I mean, let's run down here.
And
nobody else shot over. Mitchell was 3 for 5, and that's it.
Yeah. But Cruz is out there grinding, man. Just like getting so many rebounds. He's in the right spot. Like I cannot believe how much Cruz has improved this year. He is an adult man. He's like 25 and he has a child.
There were times last year where it was like, man, okay, like we need Cruz to be like our shooter tonight. You know, like if Grill was a little off or something. We thought that we'd need him to be a shooter a lot this year. Is basically what I'm getting at. Yep. He is at times been the only guy that can shoot for us. He's at times the only guy that can get rebounds for us. He's the only guy like hustling. It like he has not a complete game. He can't do everything on foot, but those attributes that he's shown this season have like really, really impressed me compared to what I thought. I thought we knew what we were going to get from him this year, and he's really doing more than that.
Yeah, shout out to Kel McAvoy, who said Phillips had a good game. Yeah, Phillips had a great game. He didn't force shots. He had a couple good moves. He played good defense. The hack of Phillips thing is concerning, yet at the same time, you can always bring in Northweather, or if Burns keeps improving, you can bring Burns, who I assume is a better free throw shooter than Phillips. Yeah, I think it was great. Phillips this is the type of role you want to see Phillips in. He's not feeling he needs to be forced. And when we're playing against teams who have other bigs, yeah, this feels much better instead of playing against like the small teams with their faster centers. Yeah, guys. So with Stone, and I don't even know if Michael can hear us. Michael, is that your ceiling?
I don't know. It's Blair Witch
Is
Project.
that an unfinished
going on
basement we're in?
No, I'm in my garage.
That's like when we did that
Buffalo
pod when I
Bob's
was in
house.
my in-laws' basement in there. I was gonna ask a question, but now everyone's gone, so I can't even.
I'm here. I'm here.
Does this change? So we haven't actually done an SEC preview pod in a way. I don't know if we're actually going to, but does this change your outlook for the SEC season in general, and even
Not really.
bigger like NCAA potentially?
I don't think we. I guess there's a range of outcomes that we do make the tournament, but I think that would be us losing like 2, 4, maybe 5 games and having major upsets per se. I just think the way the NCAA is trending, so like our lack of a non-con schedule, and then the 3 really bad losses. Not even really bad, I guess, just not even being competitive in a sense, especially with Illinois. Excuse me. So the tournament is not even on my radar right now, but I think it gives the fans, I guess, a sense of hope that okay, let's get some decent recruits in here, and then
people will be in the arena. I think that's
yeah.
They showed up. More people were there than I anticipated. Honestly, they filled in
Good
more
crowd.
mind.
Good crowd.
Yeah, I guess the only thing that like I don't know, like I guess there's still also the range of outcomes that Mizzou has some really bad losses still.
Yeah.
I don't think that's seeing how Stone and Pierce came out. I don't think that's going to happen. I think we actually have a pretty decent SEC showing this year because of our front 5.
Mhm. Stone and Pierce coming out as aggressive as they did was, I think, a huge positive. They looked ready to go. They
I
didn't
mean this goes back to like what we talked about, I don't know, 2 months ago whenever we first started doing this, like the excitement, and like I guess this was the Mizzou team that I was anticipating all year, and I didn't realize how big of a drop or how big of like a roster composition it looked like when Stone and Pierce weren't out there.
When you've got 11 guys that can actually play,
it felt like
looks different.
It felt like his second season, where
Yes.
Grill was
Yes.
hurt and also Tanjay was hurt. It's like, dude, if Grill and Tanjay play the whole year, I don't think they lose every SEC game. Like, and now this roster is much better than that roster, but I think the point being is there is a good chance we undervalue those injuries. And it's not to say they didn't play bad and that they couldn't have coached it better. Like those are all true.
You're fair.
But
I just also
I
think those guys aren't that good at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Like we literally.
Yeah, but if you have if everyone is like kind of like they're not that good. Well, if you got 6 of those guys available versus 4, 3, then the odds of one of them having a good night goes up.
I guess not that good is the proper phrase. I guess they're the situations that they were in, and Illinois being the highlight of that. Of like, I mean, it was basically the equivalent of. Me and Curtis a couple nights ago, we were just in water that was too deep for us.
Yeah. They got sent out to slaughter that night.
I'm not gonna make a call yet because a part of me wants to immediately go, yeah, we're gonna have a great SEC schedule season. We're gonna sneak into the tournament. What's there? Let's see how these next 3 to 4 games go.
Yeah, for sure.
That's my thing.
That's I gotta see these next 3 games. Just as I was ready to basically fire Dennis Gates after the Illinois game because I had seen 10 games, 11 games at that point. I need to see 3 to 4 games of this roster, people staying healthy, and see how it keeps looking. As you said, especially against other SEC teams. What's our who we playing against next? Is next Kentucky?
We're at Kentucky. Yeah.
At Kentucky.
And then Ole Miss.
Win that game. And once again, Kentucky's not the Kentucky they have been in the past. But like win that game, that's a big
that
deal.
Rupp Arena, man.
That's a big deal. And that so like
if you can start off SEC play with a ranked win at home against the defending national champions and then a win at Rupp Arena, I don't care what Kentucky they are, they're still Kentucky.
That feels a lot better.
That is massive. But you had to win this one. You know what I mean? You got to win one to win 2 in a row. Yeah.
Let's hit our moments that stuck out. You ready for this? So some things that are still sitting with me after this game. Trent Pierce scoring 5 points by himself when we absolutely needed points. I felt like was such a defining moment of the game, defining moment of why this season's been bad so far, and a reminder of how important Trent Pierce is, who also played good defense and was hustling up there as aggressive.
He has been forgotten, I think, with the other injuries, the sexier names or whatever. I think you're totally right. He is an excellent role player that we really missed.
Mark Mitchell. When it's nut up time, Mark Mitchell nuts up. I'm just saying, he'll pull a foul on the Chinulu, who is the strongest man I think I've ever seen alive. Like Trent Burns was just like couldn't move the guy when he was out there, but like Mark Mitchell also frustrated me a little in this game. I actually texted the guys at one point. I said, hot take, I think Mark Mitchell's average on defense. That's been brewing for a few days for me. Now I wonder how much part of that is that the games would get out of control and he'd just be like, God, I'm so mad. I think also he carries a pretty heavy offensive load, so he might slack a bit on D, but when it mattered, he shows up. I do think he needs to be a little, now that the shooters are here, there are a couple moments he like forced to drive and there'd be a double team and Trent Pierce is open. Jaden Stone's open, kick it out. And there's even a timeout where you could catch one of them walking and being like, I was open, him being like, my bad. So I think he needs to turn off the like hero ball just a tad. But like that, once again, him drawing that foul in Chinulu and also the and ones he was getting. And then when he needed to, he was blocking shots as well. My man, Mark.
No, he was incredible. My big moment, and I think it got lost in that the run that we went on to start the second half, and also the poor shooting from Florida to start the second half. They missed some open shots. Whatever, doesn't matter. We ended up getting a 10-point lead right there within 5-6 minutes of the second half. The Burns 3 to end the first half, like when we turned it over, Florida had the ball up 39-36 with like 50 seconds left. And I'm like, man, I was like, I need this to be a 1-possession game at halftime. That's all I need. But like, don't give up a bucket and then not score on the other end. Like, please just don't end up like down by 6 or even 5, at half. And to get the stop and then moving screen or not aside, whatever, for Burns to hit that and tie it up. I mean, it went from like, oh, we got a shot to like, let's fucking do this thing. Like it changed, and we came out in the second half and got a 10-point lead. We hadn't had a lead since 19.
There's so much to this. One, Gates drawing that play up for him in that moment says a lot. That was brave, because if he misses, people are like, "That's the play you drew up."
Yeah.
Two,
I feel like it was kind of risk free, but whatever.
It says to his guys, like, I trust all of you, even the guy who barely plays right now, to like execute when we give it to you. That because the guys were pumped after he hit that shot. They were like freaking out.
They showed it in like the highlight montage, at like the under 4 timeout in the second half when it was really close.
And they and lastly, it was a smart use of personnel. You have Ant walk it up. They're watching Ant. Jacob Cruz screens. They're going to pay attention to Jacob Cruz. You have the guy who, by all accounts, can hit a 3 in practice. Go out there and hit it. And that's funny. His second 3 was a complete miss. But the potential for Trent Burns is there. And I think it's also amazing that Randall is getting minutes early and doing well. Now, Randall needs some sort of offensive anything, please. Something. Can you do something on offense? But those two guys being able to do mop-up minutes so Mark can get a breather. We don't have to rely on Northweather. And if Phillips gets into foul trouble, which it now seems like with the past 2 games, Phillips is the most likely to be in foul trouble. Like Ant has basically not been in foul trouble for days.
Season, but yeah.
But is big. And lastly, that's the Ant we need every game.
Yes,
the amount of
I was about to
times
say, if we're talking moments,
nothing would
Ant.
happen on offense, and he wouldn't hit a shot. Jacob, it's basically, I feel like it's him, Jacob Cruz, or Mark who you want taking a shot when it mattered, and because Cruz hit that crazy turnaround jumper as well when we needed it.
We hit some big
three.
boy shots,
Yeah.
even big boy mid range turnaround Kobe shots. They were falling tonight, guys.
So Ant
had 2 offensive rebounds in 1 possession when I think we were
that
up by
map.
2 inside like the last minute and a half, and I didn't want that to get ignored. That was huge. 2 offensive rebounds from your point guard in that spot.
He's athletic. You should get those. And his motor was massive, and he hit it. He hit those shots. And lastly, dude, I don't know what you need to change about your pregame hydration routine, but he gets a Charlie horse every game. There's a mention how they make fun of him for that. Like he literally gets a Charlie horse every game. So I don't know if he needs to be taking shots of pickle juice during timeouts. I don't know if he needs like an enhanced Gatorade, eat a banana before, like do something, dude, because we don't want those to happen in like a really important moment. Though T.O. stepped in and did what he had to do.
Yeah, T.O. was not. I think this comes back to Gates' usage of everybody. T.O. was by no means like a deficit on the court tonight. I don't know what like the stats say, like especially like the analytics. I just mean like it's been noticeable in the past when he's forced to play too many minutes and too many bad spots. And tonight it was like, oh, when they used him, it was the correct usage. I think he was overall at the very minimum net even.
T.O., in my opinion, has a chance to be the best passer on the team. I think he has actually amazing vision. I think he has like legit point guard vision. I think he's still working around the edges here. But like that little touch pass he did to Phillips,
put a little English
in
on
the
it
lane.
too.
It was a crazy pass. And there's a couple passes a game where like he gets it to his person, but the person's just not expecting the pass. So like I think T.O. wants to be a traditional point guard because he's not trying to score a lot. But like if I think that's something to watch for as the season goes on into next season. This is how the championship DVD starts, fellas. Look, what a huge win. It felt really good to actually be there at the end of the game and carrying, and we're in it. And it literally, they looked like a different team.
It felt good at halftime, man.
They looked like a different team completely, and that's why there's hope. But we also got to see it multiple games in a row. It's easy to get up for the first SEC game. Crowd's packed. They mentioned this in the game.
It's a break game, baby. Come on.
I'm really glad they didn't have some bullcrap team after Illinois. Just give them the rest. Like the biggest thing we needed was the guys back and rested. So,
good. It's the first time we've seen us fully healthy, minus Porter. Sorry, the whole time.
Kept saying
I did want to ask.
zooming on Porter.
Look, this game was sick, and it was again. You said it felt good to be in it at the end of the game. Man, Alexa went to like talk on the phone with a friend when the game started, and I figured when she came back at halftime, I'd have already changed the channel. You know, I'd be like, I need a break. We were down by 20 or whatever. And I just wrote it out. It felt so good to even be in the game because we were down by like 6-8 for like a lot of that first half, and we hung in there, and we were all texting.
Yeah,
I mean, the
they
boys
never
are
let
fighting.
it get out of hand.
We kept saying the amount of
hand.
times we said these boys are fighting tonight. Like they're not letting it get out of hand. And that was huge because that's how it starts. That you gotta hang in there to be able to come back, get a lead, and then stave off a comeback. Was there anything? Mushy positive things aside, was there anything that like really concerned you from Mizzou's performance tonight? Because for me, off the top of my head, I'm not. This isn't a trick question. I'm just saying, like, not really for me. No. I just wanted to ask.
I mean, end of the game execution was a little shitty.
Free throws remain.
It should not have come down. Honestly, Florida should not have had a chance to win the game off a three. That should not have happened. Luckily, they had Boogie Flan take the three, but that should not have happened. So that's end of the game execution by the guys. I mean, they haven't been in a close end of the game in a while. But that was basically it. Besides that, really well done. I mean, even the rotations, you could just see how the rotations made so much more sense with Stone and Pearson. Because now every single group out there had at least 3 shooters.
Every group of 5 like makes sense now, and you're
Yeah,
like,
it makes
oh
sense.
dang, this depth actually does
There
matter.
wasn't a single 5 out there that I was like, what is this? What are they supposed to do to score? Like, and you could tell because they actually had like there's a lot less outside of. Actually, I do have one concern. When Florida went to the zone, that effed us up a little bit more than I think it should have. I think part of it was that Mac was in, and it seemed to go away once that changed. But like, it was way too difficult for a few plays, and also the basically like 6-minute scoring drought. That's not good either. Like honestly, we had a chance to push the lead to like 15, 19. It's like you can't just go 5 minutes without scoring unless you're betting the under. Then you freaking love that. But besides that, man, I'm good. Any other big thoughts about this game? Because I have one more little section.
Sebastian Mack, like, is he assuming that like the 11, 12 guys that, or 11, I guess, guys that got minutes tonight, out of those 11 and the rotations that we saw, the groups on the floor that we saw, is Mack might be like the like man who gets left out of a lot of these, right? Unless they can, I mean, in practice, hypothetically, they can, now that everyone's healthy, they can maybe find a 5 that works for him. But at least tonight, it seemed like he was kind of the odd man out, so to speak.
Yeah.
Not a huge deal, but
I think his role definitely should be whenever they need to do like the spot 3 to 5 minutes of like a lot of the backups. He's like one of the primary ball handlers and gets to kind of cook. Like maybe it's like him, T.O. with one of the big shooters. Like
we got a couple guys in foul trouble,
and
and
maybe
we just
like
need someone.
and like Burns, and it's like the group that's like, hey, survive for 3 minutes.
Yeah,
that's when he should be shining.
And run a little pick and roll with Burns, maybe. I don't know. Like,
playing devil's advocate pod says Nick Randall just does cardio out there. No, I think he plays good defense. And but I also would say I wouldn't be mad if Burns takes his minutes because Randall can literally do 0 on offense. But for a guy who has to come in and do some spot minutes, I think he's fine. Now for my look around the SEC. Here's my look around the SEC section. Look at me, I can share my screen without it being a production.
there
All right.
we go.
So, Vandy, 12-point win over South Carolina. Unsurprising. Vandy's really good. Though, if you actually look at the game scores, they tend to play a lot of teams close. They just end up winning.
Yeah,
Is Kentucky bad?
No.
They might not make the tournament. Wouldn't be
I think they're
surprised.
By their standards, sure, they're bad.
I think they're middle of the pack.
Are they better than us?
Should
Find
we
out.
be favored?
We'll
God, no.
see.
But, like, if we win at Kentucky, I would not be surprised. That's
No,
all I'm saying.
I'll be looking to take Mizzou as a dog in that game.
Arkansas,
They've got some
Tennessee.
tough L's, man. Every single loss they've had is
No,
a top 20 team, man. Like, come on.
But they don't look inspired at all.
No,
We
and
just
all
beat a
and
top
these
20
games
team.
were scheduled when Cal was there. You know,
Mm-hmm.
like it is what it is.
Speaking of Cal, Arkansas, big win over Tennessee. I think Arkansas is looking much better than I anticipated. But also Tennessee doesn't have an offense, perhaps, or not as good as we thought. Then again, they scored as much as we did in our game against Florida. But, and then Georgia Auburn. Did you see the end of that Georgia Auburn game?
That was wild.
No, I missed.
I
it.
Talk
love-
about choke. Talk about choke.
I love Georgia's court, by the way.
Agree. Hard agree.
So
I did
what
see some
happened,
clips on Twitter.
Curtis, is that Georgia was up by 4, then fouled a 3-point shot, and that's how it got to overtime.
So a 4-point play to tie it.
Is Georgia way better than people thought? This is surprising me. Georgia's ranked. Beat Auburn. That's whole Stephen Pearl
Yeah, dude,
takeover.
they've
seems
lost like one
great.
game, right? Let me see.
Who's it to?
Clemson, right? Yeah. Yeah, well, they lost to Clemson. I think it looks like it's at home. I can't quite tell, but yeah.
Ole Miss is bad.
Holy crap! They've scored 100 points in 5 of their last 7 games. That's pretty good.
Georgia did?
Yeah, don't look at the competition. I don't know what TNTC is. It sounds like a wrestling organization, but But they put up and then they scored 107 against Florida State, though. So I'll give them that.
Yep.
Tennessee State.
Oklahoma beats Ole Miss 86-70. Sorry, I didn't actually say the score. Georgia beat Auburn 104-100 in overtime. Oklahoma beats Ole Miss 86-70. Ole Miss is bad. I will actually say that. This isn't me pontificating. Ole Miss is bad.
Yes. So if that's what I'm saying, if we can get through Kentucky, and that's a big ask, there's a chance for the Missouri Tigers to be 3-0 in conference play, which even months ago, I said this is a big stretch of like, if we can just get, even if we end up like 4-3 in conference play, just like start with a winning record, start above 500 and give yourself a little bit of breathing room. This is the first step in that process, was winning tonight. If we can get through Kentucky, then you get Ole Miss. I don't even care if it's on the road. We should win that game. Ole Miss stinks.
Texas A&M, LSU. I have no idea how these teams are. Honestly, I don't. Mississippi State, Texas wins 101-98 in overtime. Watching that game, Texas one choked that game big time too. The refs were really bad, and Texas lost like their top 2 players to foul trouble on some calls that were horrendous. Though I will say, there's a moment where a Mississippi State player got obviously fouled. Like the guy hits his arm down to his shoulder or down to his elbow. Refs call the shot foul. And the announcer goes, "You can't call that foul." He's like, in the moment, how big this was near the end of the game. He's like, I'm not blowing that. And his another announcer's like, "But it was a foul." He's like, "Yeah, but like you have to consider the moment." I'm like, "You're an idiot."
I will say that I think maybe that color guy was like just as frustrated as we were at least as I was by the end of the game. It felt like one of those games where no matter what happened in the possession, there was going to be like a foul called at the end. And it was going to be like free throws. And we're going to do this whole song and dance over and over and over. That's how so many guys ended up in foul trouble. Basically, the last like 8 minutes of regulation into overtime was like, it's like, oh, I get why people say the end of basketball is unwatchable sometimes. Like, it's like, this is kind of brutal. Like, the game's close, but like, it's boring.
Playing devil's advocate pod, Georgia has the second highest tempo in the nation, dude. You know Mizzou's gonna run with them. It's just,
Like I said, they scored
sprinting.
100 points like at will lately. Julian, you weren't with us for our excellent pod the other night. Who do you think is the best team in the SEC?
Vanderbilt. Right now.
Right now. Who do you think is going to? Who do you think is going to win the regular season SEC title?
I think it could be Arkansas.
Yeah. I didn't want to say it, but I kind of.
Arkansas has a potential. Alabama. I mean, it's Alabama, Vanderbilt, Arkansas. Are kind of the top 3 right now.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Anyway, last thing I'll say, Hubbard for Mississippi State scored 38 points, but he did it on like 34 shots.
Jesus.
It was Kobe's 81, baby.
He literally was just shooting again and again and again. But yeah, SEC not as good as last year, but still very good. Also, my last comment, at one point on one of our announcers in our game said, "I haven't seen the crowd like this since Kansas last year." I mean, he said, "Alabama, you idiot." That was, the crowd was crazy in the Alabama game. Know your history. If you're going to make a comment about Mizzou Arena, do your research. Okay, SEC announcers.
Yeah.
Arkansas is going to lose way too many weeknight games.
The Kansas crowd was crazier than the Alabama crowd, but he said craziest crowd since. And this crowd tonight was not crazier than Alabama last year. So you are, I just think, in fact, correct.
My last thing I'm going to tie off this podcast with, if we lose this game, I think there's a kind of a big momentum factor that's hard to gauge when it comes to seasons. And I think athletes can find, motivation in anything. And so right now, think about the mindset of our players right now, which is Stone and Pierce are back. We played amazing. We beat Florida. We're back together. They're gonna wash away Illinois and Kansas. It's not gonna hang over them anymore. And they're gonna go, this is a new season. We're attacking, and there's gonna be a whole lot of confidence going into Kentucky.
Yeah, I had already started to try to rationalize a close loss. When it felt like it was maybe slipping away there, my brain just went into defense mode. I think we could have taken away positives from that loss. I think pulling this game out, I mean, being competitive was the most important thing and taking it down to the wire, but winning it, let's ride. It's a new year, 1-0 in 2026, 1-0 in the SEC. If you Google edurank.com for most famous Florida alums, number 1 is Aaron Hernandez. So fuck you, Aaron Hernandez.
Woof.
I'm just being told that Aaron Hernandez is dead. Yeah, but he also murdered him. He also murdered him. Yes, the famous financier Aaron Hernandez. He also murdered
I have to say,
so
Antlers had an amazing opening tweet. Did you see it?
No, what was it?
Hold, and I will share my screen in one
All
second.
right, this must be good.
It was so good. Gabe opened the thread where people talk about the game with the picture. Also, top post right now on Power Mizzou. Just when I thought I was out.
Yeah, of course.
Michael, you're right. Here we go. We're back in it. Okay. So I hope I don't get DCA'd here by Power Mizzou. I'm gonna share my screen and I'll describe it for our visuals. It is a picture, an AI picture of Tom Golden with Jeffrey Epstein saying was doing some digging. Wow.
Oh yeah, I did see that. Yeah.
Solid.
Yeah. Yeah, solid. I heard a few pervert chants get yelled out.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Also, if you read that thread, it's really funny where the first page is people going, I don't even know, I'm going to watch this game. And then page 2, like, oh, wow, they're playing hard. And then the 5th page is like, we're so back. We're so freaking back.
I was going to point out my tweet to you guys about, what was it, about Trent Burns. It was right before he hit the 3 before halftime. I said, look, he looks totally, Julian, you mentioned, hell, he looks pretty good out there. And I said, he looks at bare minimum, like reasonably competent. Like, I'm totally happy with this, but I don't want to get ahead of myself. And then he hit the 3 to tie the game at half. And I said, I am getting way ahead of myself. That's what I'm trying to avoid. It's a microcosm for Mizzou as a whole tonight. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to not get ahead of myself based on this win, but I want to. I really want to.
Dennis in his bag a little bit. His opening statement of his press conference. You ready? Dennis goes, I want to thank our guys for allowing me to be the biggest asshole known to man this last week. He's not a nice guy, fellas. When he's in that practice, he's your worst enemy.
Him not saying words feels so much more powerful than him saying words sometimes. Like when he's mad at a call and they just cut to him, just...
He was getting in the refs though. Like people complain about how he's not yelling and screaming. No, he gets on refs. He just doesn't like
he picks
scream in their face. Also, or like chase them into the hallway like the Notre Dame coach. I can't believe we lost Notre Dame.
Yeah, or even Todd Golden at halftime.
Yeah, dude,
did the same thing.
Crying.
What I will say, I did love when there was a sequence where Jacob Cruz got fouled on a free throw. When he was trying to box out, and some guy ripped his headband off and threw it.
I was wondering why he was so mad.
I immediately knew what happened. I was like, dude, somebody ripped his headband off and threw it, and he was like complaining about it. But then they showed him once we got to a timeout after, because Florida came down and had once again a two-handed alley-oop. Those whites down here are different, folks. I promise you. And then they showed Gates like talking to him.
That was a sweet moment.
Good, because you really do. It's like, hey man. Yeah, you got screwed. Guess what? It doesn't matter. Keep it cool. Keep it cool.
A little hug.
Get back on defense. You gave him a 5-on-4, and they had a two-handed alley-oop on us. You know what I mean? Guess why? Because you were back there yelling about your headband. I thought that was a really nice moment. I also wanted to just random moments that pop into my head. Got to mention it. But that's all I got after I got my Aaron Hernandez dig in as well.
All right, guys, another perfect pod.
Let me air one thing.
Okay.
This is this is college basketball.
Burning inside him right now.
It is. It just drives me bonkers. These coaches challenges turn into mini timeouts.
Yes.
And I can't stand that.
Oh, dude.
Can we turn this
how-
into like a
how
little
did Florida-
3-minute segment? I have some questions about this for Mike, but
How,
anyway,
how
continue.
did
Glenn.
Florida not lose their last timeout?
So-
That's
That
what
was
I'm asking. That's
mind-boggling.
where I
Yes.
want to go.
So
'Cause
I
it's
guess
an appeal, not a challenge, but he lost the appeal, right?
it
Appeal
wasn't.
only exists after you're out of challenges. I
wa-
thought.
It wasn't direct. So I guess the
The appeal
announcer
is direct if you have
misspoke
one timeout left. Yes.
that the refs were going to look at a potential elbow to the face from the angle that they were at. So that the announcer misspoke.
So it was not a challenge.
No, the announcer and their angle
Okay.
on the bench and the scores table. I guess the angle looked like an elbow, Stone's elbow flared out when everybody knows in reality, all the replays, it didn't. So the announcers, from my understanding, jumped the gun, said, oh, Golden's going to challenge this. This is a fucking cakewalk. It's going to be a flagrant, basically. Well, that obviously didn't pan out. So they just didn't do a good job announcing it. But
But the refs looked at that as a potential flagrant
yes,
on Cruz.
no, on Stone for driving.
Was it Stone or Cruz?
Stone was driving.
Okay. Well, you're right. You're totally right. It was Stone.
And because
They chose to look at that on their own.
yes, because I'm guessing because the way the court was, you had one ref at the top of the key to the right. You had another ref at the baseline on the left side. Then you had another ref in front of the scores table. So I'm guessing it wasn't a unanimous decision.
It was the guy on the hash by the scorers table. Probably.
Yes, and that angle would have, my understanding in the Twitterverse, my understanding is that guy, his angle looked like an elbow flared out. So all he had to do, they huddled up. The cameras didn't pan to him, I'm guessing. And they're like, hey, guys, I thought I saw an elbow. So let's just look at it.
Well, but here's the thing, Mike.
So they shouldn't. Motherfucker. God damn. In reality, we're not. Yeah, we're good. In reality, these coaches' challenges, there should be a challenge or an appeal, whatever verbiage you want to use. I don't understand how someone is not watching this game from their living room or from a different angle and is in the ref's ear saying, hey, that needs to get looked at. This tip out of bounds needs to get looked at. You were wrong. And there should be no challenge on that.
It took the NFL, $100 billion organization, 15 years to come around to that, by the way.
They will never go against their refs. They will always back them no matter how bad they are. This happens down to the middle school level. But the fact
you had to burn 2 challenges on tip outs is crazy.
Just do the old thing of I don't know. Like refs used to do that. They'll be like, I don't know. Then they would just point, be like, hey, did you have an angle? Like no one does that. And it just drives me nuts because it's these mini timeouts. The NCAA allows them to huddle back up. You can't sub, but it huddles up and it's just a timeout.
Yeah, it's same thing's been happening in soccer. But
and I just don't.
Threw me off.
It drives me. I don't know. It just drives me up a wall because they clearly made a step in the right direction of saying, hey, we're going to do some sort of challenge if you're wrong. Barrett, I can't remember the minute mark, but he's like, hey, that wasn't off of me. Gates challenged it.
Yeah, he immediately went.
But also last season when they were reviewing everything inside 2 minutes was ridiculous. Absurd.
But to be honest, it's so easy to point the finger at the ref and be like, oh my God, they're terrible. Jokes aside, reffing is not that great. I think there's a lot that goes on, and I think the average fan, because of the angle that we watch on TV, we miss a lot of peripheral stuff. Much like when you watch the Amazon X Vision view of the whole football field, you see, that's a hole. Now I see why they call it. But if you're watching the regular view, you just see flag after flag, and you're like,
that's why I love having season tickets for the Jack. You have a completely different perspective.
But yeah, that's been just really chapping my ass, and today it just exasperated it with the moving screens. I think Florida got the shorthand of the short stick a little bit on Condon's moving screens.
Yeah.
But then the refs now have to come out the second half and overcompensate.
So they called 5 fouls on us in the first 5 minutes and none on Florida. It was 5-0 at one point.
And then you
then
just
it
know
was 7-7.
Yeah, you just know how this goes. Like, they're gonna get some makeup call, and like, I don't know, like don't dictate the flow of the game. Like, control it by being like an unbiased, bystander, so to speak. But I don't know. That just drives me up a wall because now you're creating like 10 mini timeouts.
Yeah, well, that was my question. Is that we made it almost to the end of the second chorus of "Party in the USA" by Miley Cyrus during the review about the Stone elbow,
Like,
which clearly came nowhere near
and I get
anybody's head.
No,
and we made it through the intro, the verse, the chorus, the second verse, and then halfway through the second chorus of Party in the USA before they actually came back. And then they were like, yeah, there's no foul. And we were like, wait a minute, what? And then it was like, he should have said there was no additional foul, but we didn't even know what they were reviewing because the announcers didn't know what was going on. It was just a complete shit show.
But that's just where the two other refs just need us when they huddle up. They just need to say, hey, I had a good view. I didn't see an elbow. The other ref at the baseline says, hey, same thing. I didn't see an elbow. The guy at the third says, hey, it looked like an elbow from my angle. You're outruled. Move on. No timeout. No nothing. And it just I don't know. It just leaves. It's an aspect of the sport to be desired, I guess.
Yeah. I don't want to talk anymore about the refs. Like I did want to mention that whole thing in the Party in the USA of it all, but yeah, that's all.
You got. I do have one thing to hit you guys with. You ready? What? So we were at 62 at KenPom before this game. How much did we go up after this game?
Mid 40s, what I would guess.
What were we before, Julian?
We were 62.
53.
60. We went up two spots.
Okay. Yeah.
Apparently making up for 68-point combined losses to your two rivals takes a little bit more than that.
But does that show that Florida is not what they were last year, though?
Yeah.
I think it's a fair. Time will tell, but I can just tell you, Florida's not the same that they were. And I think that, but anywho, I would have guessed it went up more.
I didn't think we were going to get into the 40s, but I thought we'd probably at least get like 8 spots.
I mean, that's a big win. I mean, that's a big home win. I don't, I guess.
Julian, do you have Florida's KenPom?
Yeah,
that'll probably be telling. For
Florida's not 14.
Wow. Okay, that's surprising. I figured they maybe were getting a little bit.
No, KenPom loves Florida. Let's see what Haslett thinks about Florida.
Interesting.
I'm sure they fell off a cliff, probably in the 30s, if I had to guess.
He has them at 23.
Damn, they were at like 25. They were in the
Missouri
20s.
at 87. But I don't think this is updated till tomorrow for Haslett. KenPom's really fast on updating. But
yeah, they'll be. Mia will update tomorrow too, or midnight, or whatever.
Yeah. I'm interested to see what the 4 big ones have us at after this. Yeah. But KenPom is like, show to me again, buddy.
All right, well that's all I got. I got an early morning with the at the slab for the Jaguars trying to win the division tomorrow. So,
all right, well, good luck.
Yeah, we're all counting on you, and good luck. Hopefully, it's better than the last time I went to this stadium. That was the
so. Hey, 1-0.
1-0 in 2026. 1-0 in conference play, baby.